I'm joined now by former Manchester United defender Phil Jones. Phil, thank you so much for joining me on one of the busiest days of the footballing calendar, deadline day. Before we get into Manchester United and also your personal time at the club and so on, what was deadline day and, in a wider aspect, the transfer window like as a player in a dressing room? Do players talk amongst themselves? Do they even have their own wish list of players potentially coming in through the door? What's it really like in that dressing room?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's a bit different to what you sort of explaining it. Obviously, you'll have training, the Sky Sports maybe on in the background, and you're watching it, and the little ticker at the bottom comes up, the yellow bar, and you're seeing who's signed for where, and you're aware of different players who could potentially go to different clubs and stuff. But I think in terms of the club itself, if you're at that club, players will know what's going on. Players will know where that player is going or incomings that are coming. Um, so basically that's just a bit of confirmation that it's happened, sort of thing. But I don't think that we're not all huddled around the TV watching it, or I'm pretty sure they go home to the families and not even watch it. But yeah, it's good for the neutrals to watch it.
Yeah, definitely, exactly that. Well, look, we'll get straight into the Manchester United aspect of things. Let's start with the players that they've already brought in. It's obviously a heavy focus on the forward line with the likes of Cunha and Bumo, and of course Benjamin Sesko coming through the door. What have you made of their business? Of course, they needed some reinforcements in the forward line, but there are obviously quite a lot of fans who do want maybe another midfielder, of course, another goalkeeper, which we'll talk about shortly. But what have you made? Has it been money well spent, or would you have liked to see that maybe spread around the squad rather than just in the forward line?
Look, I think the boys they brought in with Cunha and Buemo are really really good signings, really good signings. And I've watched every game so far. Thought against Arsenal, the pair of them were terrific. Caused Arsenal all sorts of problems. Thought Arsenal were poor on the day. United limited Arsenal to very very few chances. They picked up some really nice positions against Fulham as well. Cunha's at the post in the first 5 minutes, and Buemo missed a chance. Could have been 2 or 3 nil up. So there's definitely signs if you're a Man United fan when you watch those two that attacking wise we are in a better position than we were last year. Obviously, the signing of Benjamin Sesko as well, which is I think will be a good signing, but I think he's going to definitely need time. But then again, you're a number nine in Man United. You can't have time. I think that probably showed last season with Højlund. Unfortunately, wasn't to be. Didn't quite work out for him. But it wasn't for a lack of effort or endeavour. He was, gave absolutely everything every time he played. So there definitely are good signings. Do I think they need one or two more? As every club would say, whether we need one or two more. Of course, it's very evident that the goalkeeper situation has become troublesome over the last season, start of this season as well. So probably will be an area that they'll look to fill and bring someone in who can be that number one. I still think they've got a terrific goalkeeper, the third choice goalkeeper as Tom Heaton. I think he's a brilliant goalkeeper with bags of experience in the Premier League. So potentially a number six. Although Bruno's playing there, you've got Cobby, but I think the manager stated that probably that they won't play together. So yeah, you tell me.
we could speak for hours on this, Phil, in terms of what they need. Look, you touched on it there a little bit in terms of the goalkeeping situation. I've just got a couple of questions in regards to the goalkeeper debacle, almost, if you like. It's been a very difficult time for Manchester United with the goalkeeping situation. They've got Bayindir and Onana, two different goalkeepers in terms of experience, but you'd think that at least one of them would step up. But unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out in that way. Now the two names that they're being linked with at the moment, of course, on deadline day is Martínez from Aston Villa and then Sen Lommens as well from Antwerp. Again, two very different goalkeepers in terms of experience. Which one would you think would be the best fit for Manchester United at this moment in time?
No brainer. Martinez, absolute no brainer because you need someone in that position who's got authority, who's played at that level before, who can come into a club like Man United, which is a heavy shirt to wear but a rewarding one at the same time, and deal with that pressure. And there's no doubt in my mind that Emi Martinez would be able to do that. He's played at the highest level, won the World Cup with Argentina, been a terrific goalkeeper for Aston Villa. So for me, that one's a no-brainer. I know that there was rumours about Donnarumma before. It looked like he was going to City. I think that would have been a good one, albeit I think Donnarumma's a terrific goalkeeper. I'm not sure he's top class with the ball at his feet, but my God, he's a world class goalkeeper. So it depends what sort of characteristics Man United are looking for in that department. But certainly, I would go with Martinez.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to disagree with you there, Phil. Of course, with the experience that you've got at such a high level, I just wanted to touch on that as well. Look, you know more than most people out there the responsibility, the pressure, the eyes that are on you when you're playing for Manchester United in the famous red and white strip. What does it genuinely feel like? Because look, we've seen it already. You know, Benjamin Seschko's he's had one start against a League Two side. I know you were covering that game yourself as well, Phil. And already there's a microscope on him. Has he done this right? Has he done that right? And it's a very difficult situation to be in, almost, isn't it? What is the pressure like in terms of being able to handle that? Every move that you have, every touch that you make. What does that feel like, especially trying to navigate your way through a big and important game, which they always are for Manchester United?
Yeah, it's massive. The pressure at Man United is absolutely massive, and it's a really really heavy shirt to wear. But however, on the flip side of that, it's an incredible place to play football. The fans are fantastic every time you go and play at Old Trafford. I've been there myself. I've been there when things aren't going well, and I've had those times when you're starting a game, you've not started the best, you've given a ball away, and you're receiving the ball off the goalkeeper, and you're thinking, bloody hell, like, just give me a simple pass, and these too many thoughts going through your head, and you start overthinking things and trying to play little cute ones through the lines, and it wasn't on, and you're trying too hard to impress. Um, Look, Benjamin Sesko, he just needs a goal. He needs a goal to get himself off and running, and hopefully he gets it soon, because I think he had a chance the other night in the game against Grimsby, didn't come off. He just needs that goal to get him off the mark. But again, I said it before, a number 9 at Man United, you have to come in and score goals, and you have to come in and do it now. You can't wait around 6-7 months for it to work. It has to work now.
Absolutely. In terms of Ruben Amorim, look, Phil, you know more than most people. You've had several managers at Manchester United. You know what it takes to be successful, and you also know from a managerial perspective as well when things aren't looking too great. What is your opinion on Ruben Amorim? He's very, regimented in terms of the formation he wants to play. What do you think? Do you think this one does last the test of time almost, or are you a little bit worried for his future at Manchester United?
I think it has to last the test of time. I mean, you've employed a man who you know what he's about, where he's done, the success he's had at Lisbon, his age. Obviously, Man United will have done the homework on him, and so you've employed a guy to play a certain system. You've employed a guy to bring them certain qualities to your team. So you've got to stick with him. You've got to back him. There's no point in changing your mind and installing in terms of they're not having this or they're not having that. Back him. You've given him the money, you've given him the players. Now it's up to him to bring that success back at the club. I really like him. I really like how transparent he is between the fans. I think that is definitely something that has been missed over the last few years, especially with previous managers where they might not have had that transparency with the fans. He came in and he said from day dot that, listen, it'll get worse before it gets better. It did. He's authentic. I like his authenticity. Someone said before on a call before that sometimes he says too much in the interviews. That's him. Let him run with it. That's who he is. That's what he does. But it's about winning games of football at the end of the day. And they've beaten Burnley. And I said before the game that it was a no-win situation. You beat Burnley and it's only Burnley, and the bottom of the league, they'll get relegated, and you win, and you lose, sorry, the knives are out again. So, look, they got 5 points from 3 games. I don't think they've done as bad as what everyone makes out in the league so far. Chelsea and City coming up, you get 3, 4, maybe 6 points from them, and all of a sudden we're writing headlines, United are back and all that. So people's mind change like the wind, but I think we're not in as bad as a position as what people think.
Phil, thank you so much for joining me today. I just want to say, look, this is slightly unprofessional of me, but I am a Manchester United fan, and I just want to thank you for your contribution to the club. You've saw some great times and you've saw some really difficult times, but one thing you can never deny is your output in your effort levels for the club. So thank you so much, not only for joining me today, but also for everything you've done for the club as well.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you.